Hello and happy Thursday. It was a beautiful day here in Philadelphia today, and I hope it was where you are and that maybe you got outside for a little bit today. Um, we are getting closer towards the end of Signs Preceding the End of the World by Yuri Herrera. We're on chapter 8, and chapter 8 has the ominous title, The Snake That Lies in Wait, and it's quite short. She'd already left the barracks when she heard, "You too, assume the position, you too." She turned and saw a horribly pasty policeman pointing at her. "Are you deaf? Get in line." In a vacant lot pooled with black water were half a dozen men on their knees, staring at the ground. They all were or looked homegrown. Makina took her place beside them. "You think you can just come here and put your feet up without earning it," said the cop. "Well, I got news for you. Patriots like me are on the lookout, and we're going to teach you some manners. Lesson 1. Get used to falling in. You want to come here? Fall in and ask permission. You want to go to the doctor? Fall in and ask permission. You want to say a fucking word to me? Fall in and ask permission. Fall in and ask permission." Civilized. That's the way we do things around here. We don't jump fences and we don't dig tunnels. Out of the corner of her eye, Makina could see the cop's tongue pointing out as he talked, all pink and pointy. She could see, too, that even though he didn't draw, he also didn't take his hand off the holster where his gun was. Suddenly, the cop addressed one of the others, the one beside her. "What you got there?" He took 2 steps toward him and repeated, "What you got there?" The man was holding a little book and gripped it tighter when the cop came close. He resisted a bit, but finally let him snatch it away. "Ha," said the cop after glancing at it. "Poetry. Looky here at the educated worker. Comes with no money, no papers. But hey, poems? You a romantic? A poet? A writer? Looks like we're going to find out." He ripped out one of the last pages, laid it on the book's cover, pulled a pencil from his shirt, and gave it all to the man. "Write." The man looked up, bewildered. "I told you to write, not look at me, you piece of shit. Keep your eyes on the paper and write why you think you're up the creek, why you think your ass is in the hands of this patriotic officer. Or don't you know what you did wrong? Sure you do. Write." The man pressed the pencil to the paper and began to trace a letter, but his trembling prevented him. He dropped the pencil, picked it up, and tried again. He couldn't compose a single word. Just nervous scribble. Makina suddenly snatched the pencil and book away. The cop roared, "I didn't tell you to." But he fell silent on seeing that Makina had begun to write with determination. He kept a close watch on her progress, smiling and sardonic the whole time, though he was disconcerted and couldn't hide it. Makina wrote without stopping to think which word was better than which other or how the message was turning out. She wrote 10 lines, and when she was done, she placed the pencil in the book and fixed her gaze upon it. The cop waited a few seconds, then said, "Give me that," took the sheet of paper, and began to read aloud. "We are to blame for this destruction, we who don't speak your tongue and don't know how to keep quiet either. We who didn't come by boat, who dirty up your doorsteps with our dust, who break your barbed wire. We who came to take your jobs, who dream of wiping your shit, who long to work all the hours. We who fill your shiny clean streets with the smell of food, who brought you violence you'd never known, who deliver your dope, who deserve to be chained by neck and feet. We who are happy to die for you. What else could we do? We, the ones who are waiting for who knows what. We, the dark, the short, the greasy, the shifty, the fat, the anemic. We, the barbarians." The cop had started off in a mock, portentous voice, but gradually abandoned the histrionics as he neared the last line, which he read aloud almost in a whisper. After that, he went on staring at the paper as if he'd gotten stuck on the final period. When he finally looked up, his rage, or his interest in his captives, seemed to have dissolved. He crumpled the paper into a ball and tossed it behind him. Then he looked away, turned his back, spoke over the radio to someone, and took off. Makina stood as soon as the cop had gone, but the others took some time to realize they weren't under arrest. They looked at one another, half glad and half mistrustful, then looked at Makina, but couldn't say anything to her because she'd started walking again, and all they could make out was her silhouette against the sun. That's it. Oh, the power of literature and fiction and poetry and the word. Well, I think we only have one more chapter tomorrow, so tune in for the grand finale and we'll see if the world is actually going to end in this book or what's going to happen to Makina. So until then, I wish you peace and calm and not too much screen time, and I miss you, and I will see you here tomorrow. Bye.